This morning, Thursday, the United States Supreme Court heard a case about birthright citizenship. Well, sort of. It wasn't really about birthright citizenship. What it's really about is whether district judges, federal judges, can issue injunctions, preliminary, temporary restraining orders that affect the entire country. Is that allowed? Though I will note that the Solicitor General for the United States said that Article 1 of the 14th Amendment only applies to the children of slaves. Yes, that's the government's position, and it's clearly wrong. So, can you have a district judge issue an injunction that covers the entire country? That's what they argued about. I think it's pretty clear what the three liberals are going to say, though I will caveat it this way. They may not say that it can be done in all cases, that there may be certain buckets, as they called them, where a case has to fit for there to be a nationwide injunction. It's clear what Justice Thomas thinks. He thinks that because this hasn't been done for the entire history of the universe, that you can't do it now. That's pretty much where it starts and stops for that guy. Barrett seemed to be sympathetic to the liberals' view. Roberts wasn't quite clear. Kavanaugh might take the position that, well, class actions fix this. You can clearly do this in a class action, but it can be difficult to certify a class. That can take time. In the meantime, people might be harmed because there is no judicial decision on what happens. The Solicitor General would not say that the government wouldn't try and stop a class from being formed, though he wasn't really committal, but we can assume that they would try and stop that. Justice Roberts seemed to think that the case could get to the Supreme Court fairly quickly, and certainly the Supreme Court could issue a ruling that would affect everybody in the country. But another justice brought up this fact. The government, if it's only losing one person at a time, really isn't losing. Why would they appeal any of those cases to the Supreme Court? They're just losing one-off cases. Why even go to have the risk that the Supreme Court would make the ruling effective for everybody? It's okay to lose a few. You don't want to lose the whole thing. It is interesting, though, that the Trump administration has brought cases in Amarillo, Texas, where there's only one federal judge. If you bring a case there, you know you're going to get Matthew Kacsmaryk. And he's the one who issued a nationwide injunction on abortion pills, mifepristone. They seemed okay with that, but not this. So is it another case where if you get the decision you want, you're okay with it, and if you don't, you don't? Maybe. We should have a decision from the Supreme Court by the end of June. That's the end of the term. It could spill a little bit into July, but we'll get it relatively quickly, not because they always act quickly, but because we're at the end of the term, and cases like this have to be decided quickly because of that. We then likely will have a case on the merits of what Article 1 of the 14th Amendment, Section 1 of the 14th Amendment actually means. It seems pretty clear to me. The government thinks it's only for children of slaves, which means now it has no effect at all.